In my previous attempts of socializing as some chronically online gamer, I remember having so many conversations with people where I just spent the whole time stressing about picking the right dialogue option. I'd realise afterwards, I hadn't actually listened to anything they just said. I'd leave the conversation with like no memory of it, other than the feeling of just stress from like constantly focusing on or performing on acting normally, right? Constantly asking myself in my head, like, is this a normal thing to say? Like, will they find this funny? Is this cool? Like, it was absolutely exhausting, to be honest with you. And not only was this exhausting, but it just left me feeling like so empty after every interaction, because like I would spend the whole time trying to be right or correct that I wouldn't actually connect with anyone, you know? I was just collecting these interactions. But it's funny because for me, when I was trying to act more likable, it would just make me feel more isolated because I knew that I was just like putting on an act, right? So when I was so focused on performing, I wasn't really like absorbing what they were saying. And the thing is, people notice this, right? You've had it before where you're like talking to someone and you're mid-sentence and they're just staring off to the side and you're thinking to yourself in your head, this guy is not listening to a fucking word that I'm saying. And then you finish your sentence and they go, oh yeah, cool, man. So anyway, about me. And then they just go straight back to talking about what they were talking about. And you're just there like, right, why am I even having a conversation with you then? You're clearly not actually listening to me. What is the point in this? The problem is other people do feel that. And the worst part about acting is sometimes when people feel that, you're going to get the sense of, oh no, they're not fucking with me. They're not vibing with me. I need to try even harder to be authentic, right? And then you try harder. They notice you're trying harder to be someone you're not. And then it's just like this constant feedback loop, isn't it? It just keeps going and it just gets worse and worse. The worst part about this is when you're trying to act in accordance with how you think somebody wants you to, you're going to be different in front of like every single group of friends that you have, right? So you're going to be a different person with this group, different person with that group. Maybe you're online with some gamers, you're a different guy with them, different guy with friends, different guy with colleagues, which, I mean, to be fair, like, family, I meant to say family and colleagues, you know, there is a level of professionalism there that you can't really just truly be yourself. But the point is, all of these personas you have don't actually feel like you. And it's such a horrible feeling to not really know, like, how you actually want to act in general with people. The worst part about this as well is that when you think about it and when you dumb it down, it's actually really arrogant and egotistical to even take this stance. Because what you're basically saying to them is, you are so judgmental that you will not accept me for who I am. And so because of that, I need to manipulate you into liking me because you're a judgmental person. Like, when you put it like that, doesn't it sound like the most narcissistic thing ever? Like, evil, to be honest, kind of evil. Now, don't get me wrong. I know we don't do it maliciously. I wasn't doing it maliciously, right? But that is effectively, when you speak frankly, what you're doing. And the worst part is it goes both ways. Even if your performance does work and you leave the conversation, people were laughing, they were enjoying your presence, you leave that conversation thinking, what the fuck, they actually believed that? They actually thought I was funny? Dude, I was just acting the whole time. so for me personally, in my early 20s, when I was going around and seeing all my friends at uni and, you know, meeting all their uni friends, I'd be surrounded by 10, 15, 20 people or something, but sometimes I would just feel so alone there, man. I'm not gonna lie, it was the weirdest feeling. You're out with your friends, you're having a great time, but you feel so lonely. It's so odd. Now the thing, this isn't sustainable, right? Eventually you're going to burn out, and I think I got kind of lucky because in my mid-20s, late 20s, I kind of burnt out in a good way, not in a bad way. I just kind of thought to myself, like, man, it's so exhausting just going out socially and just trying to be someone I'm not. I'm fucking done with it, bro. Like, if you don't like me, you don't like me, fine. I don't really know what caused this. I wish I could tell you, but I don't really know. I can tell you where I think it started. I think most of us probably had this in school, right? Because I don't know why, I always had this feeling in school that I had to be like the funny, cool guy that everyone liked for some reason. Now, to be fair, a part of that still remains me to this day. Like, I want people to enjoy being around me, but the reason it's so different about today to what it used to be because I wanted to be popular, I wanted to be cool, I wanted people to like me, right? But now it's just like, I want people to just enjoy their time around me. So it's more focused on other people now. I just want people to enjoy the vibes, right? I just want them to have a good time. And if I'm capable of like bringing good vibes into the area that they enjoy, I want to do that. So kind of the same idea, but with a different perspective, which I think is really strong. Now, there's one thing I really want to talk about, well, this is why I brought up school in the first place, was because our generation, we were teenagers when social media was literally born. And I feel like we forget about this a lot, but we were literally there in secondary school for the birth of social media. So Instagram likes, Twitter followers, Facebook friends. This really fucking skewed our brains in terms of social status, right? Even though I wasn't much of a social media guy, I still had them all, but I wasn't really like a poster on there. I would still think in the back of my head, man, wouldn't it be so cool if I got like a few hundred likes on every Instagram post? And that kind of makes you start acting like someone you're not, because you want approval from people, right? But here's the thing, right? Dude, the energy you save by stopping this stupid performance is just so liberating, bro. I'm being dead serious. Like, now, if you're just actually yourself, you're not... Because you're not performing, these conversations actually like rejuvenate you. Like, they used to drain me so much because I was so focused on like what to say and how to say it and who they want me to be, right? But now it's just like I'm talking to them with genuine interest, right? I actually want to know about them. I want to know like, what their interests and stuff. And then I leave, I remember their name, I remember their job, I remember their hobbies. And it's like, damn, I actually just connected with someone that's fucking awesome, man. And, they vibe with you. Like, it's really, when you're authentic and they vibe with you, that just gives you so much confidence, right? Because they're like, oh my God, they actually like me. I know it's a bit of a crazy thing to say, but like, it is a nice feeling to just walk away and be like, oh my God, I was myself and somebody actually liked me. That's fucking awesome. But it really is, man. I can't lie. It's a very nice feeling. Now, I don't really know what caused me to get here, but I'll tell you what, on my first self-improvement journey, one piece of advice I can give you is I used to go for morning walks and I'd always bump into dog walkers. The first few days I would do that, it'd be so awkward because I knew they were going to say something to me and I hated it. But then as the days went on, every morning, it started being me initiating and just giving them a good morning, as I walk past and stuff, right? And those little good mornings, when then we have a little bit of small talk about the weather, talk about the dog, talk about the job, talk about anything, right? They start snowballing into more confidence that I take maybe to my job where I'm talking to customers, and now I can have conversations with these guys as well, which I'm quite fortunate to have. So it's starting small with really small interactions. I don't know if you walk in the morning around a park, but say good morning to people, or maybe when you go see a cashier, just ask them how long they're working, ask them, I don't know, just talk to them about something, right? I know it's uncomfortable, but discomfort or uncomfort is literally where you grow. Like, I'm sorry, I know it's very generic to say get out of your comfort zone, but the reason it's generic and the reason it's so cliche is because it's true, bro. You need to, if you want to develop yourself and be yourself unapologetically, you need to go out there and, interact with people, bro. That's how you find yourself, and that's how you find your mojo, right? As long as you end the day asking yourself, was I myself today? And you can say yes, then that's a win in my book. I think I will go over this in a bit more detail in the future, but for now, this has been Big Old Jimbo, and be yourself, man, especially when you want to perform. Peace.